I just wanted to ask you, is it okay to ask you that there's a time change is because you have some change in schedule or your work
Uh,
schedule?
yeah, no, we'll be traveling to Scotland
Oh,
in the
you are okay, okay,
till the
okay.
23rd.
Oh,
So
okay.
it would not have mattered because it's a very early hour. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning if we stick to the same timings. So that is the reason. It is more for my sake. Sorry about it.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
I've just started the recording, Dr. Renu. We can begin. We'll just do the chant and we'll start. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet. So there was, we revisited Ekatvena Pratatvena Bahuda Vishwato Mukha. So uh, it is very nice that we got more clarification on this today. In that, maybe we are all in the transitory phase from what we have learned from our childhood, what we've been doing with respect to worship of deities, to what we are, what Bhagwan is goading us to do. So it is okay to continue, but at the same time, keeping in mind that whoever you propitiate, though that particular karma phala will come to you. But if you pray to the one Mam, that is what Bhagwan is mentioning, either in the Saguna aspect or the Nirguna aspect, then you would attain him. So there is a need for us to steer our focus. I'm talking of myself. Steer the focus, and therefore, yeah, a little bit of revisiting that.
Yeah, that was really helpful with
Yeah,
what we discussed today. It was really helpful.
right.
Brahmaraji, but I have a question. Maybe I should put the question to Nanaji.
Yeah.
So whatever Nanaji said today is somewhat similar on the lines of what I have heard in some of the ISKCON teachings, right? But that is not purely Advaita, because they very clearly believe it's Krishna alone, right? So maybe Vaikuntha, and then that's it's not very clearly going towards the Advaita. That's the difference. So here, when Nanaji mentioned about being that one Bhagavan only, Kitappa only, I'm sure he's meaning probably even beyond the form of Krishna, right? It's
Yeah.
when saying Krishna, it's that ultimate reality, the truth, which is, I think, at some point he also mentioned, which is you. When Bhagavan says me, it means you also, right? So it's that, I think, Nirgun aspect is
Yeah,
what we eventually reach towards.
correct. That is what he mentioned, because he said you could pray to me in two different ways, either Saguna aspect or Nirguna aspect. Saguna
Yeah.
is,
Sadguna,
Saguna,
yeah.
Saguna
Sadguna,
aspect,
Nirguna.
yes, Saguna when we do, then that Saguna can be any form, actually. It doesn't matter, right? It need not be Krishna's form alone, because that form can be any form. You can have Devi form, Shiva form. Form is, you can have any form and worship. Okay, maybe not go to different deities for different things. But eventually, I think we have to transcend the form and get into understanding that there is one reality which is formless, totally formless. Though Krishna says Mam, that Mam is not Krishna. It's not Krishna. That's what I believe. It's not, though he's saying it, but that Mam is beyond the form of Krishna.
Mm.
Yeah, not
But,
physical form.
not physical form. That's what. So,
Yeah, certainly not physical
Mentioning
form.
me only when he is saying that it is not the 5 feet 8 inches or something like that. It is that me which is Advait. Krishna is speaking all the time. Mamekam Sharanam Raja is not physical Krishna, for sure.
so when Nanaji said, okay, deities and all, we need not worship and stick to one deity, that again, I think that one deity or any other deity, it doesn't matter, is what I feel. I don't know if that's right, because then whether you have a Krishna or you have a Ganesha or you have a Shiva, it's the same.
You know that the Vijayji, that I read somewhere like this. I know Nana also said to read that Purusha Suktam. Of course, I read the English meaning of it. It really helps to see. I mean, in that one, that one form is a combination of these three. The Trinity is in one, like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, all in one. So that's, I think I read somewhere in that. So if you say that it's a Shiva or it's a Vishnu or Krishna, when I had the question about the names, I always like say it as Vishnu. So is it even saying Krishna would be different? So I'm not sure, like, because we are in a physical form, we have like we look at the like Dasavatar, so they say the Rama name is the best mantra than the other mantras. So I'm not sure. That's how I've been searching also what to say, what not to say, or everything is same. Like I come from Tamil Nadu, we have a lot of this kind of literature. Abhayar is one of the old poet, Tamil poet. She worshipped Ganesha, and she attained mukti through the Ganesha. She had written this song about Vinayak Ragul, which exactly explains this Atma and how you control the senses and all these 9 openings in our body and all that. So how you control it and all that. So I think there is when you read that part, at least in the Purusha Suktam, that's what I think I read it. It was all in one. Those 3, at least, that the main gods. And then the Narayani also, like Durga, is also part of this person. Like when we did the Maya, she is the one he created and did this world. So in that sense, then you worship Durga also.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to Saguna, you can worship any form and it's the same. It doesn't.
What you believe in, but
Yeah.
if you look at the history, all of them did only one. Like if you see Ramana Maharishi, he was with the Tiruvannamalai, it's only Shiva. It's something like that. So everybody, whoever did, they did that one God. So that in that sense, they are very particular about that part. That I agree with that one.
Correct. I think, yes, maybe from many, go to one first, and then from that one, transcend that one and go to the ultimate, which is Nirguna.
Nirguna, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Because
think that
Saguna
is
again is a part of Maya, isn't it?
Which one? Pardon?
Saguna
Saguna is Maya, is a part of
Maya.
Absolutely. That's it.
yeah.
But
So, Madhuri,
rightly, he said we are confused. Definitely,
yeah,
we are all confused. And this transition, and yesterday also Vijayji was saying, we are in this transition. Let's give some time, contemplate. And it's like, unless this is like a jigsaw puzzle, exactly, the piece, it should exactly fit into that puzzle to make it a complete picture. And already we have some mismatched pictures, pieces which I have put in. Unless we take off that and then put the right one, the picture is not going to be complete.
beautifully
What
said.
what is my understanding is like from the birth, whatever understanding we have gone through up till this moment, it is most of it is all the thing is connected with name and form. Everything from our birth, we first of all just we could connect to the form, that is mother's form, father, and all around the toys and everything. So to start with, it's always better to have somebody who is nearer to the like a godly, having lot of positive qualities, divine qualities. From there the journey starts, and it has to culminate into nirgun, and then that ultimate one consciousness in everything. So in between, if we start with nirguna and all, it is very dry, it becomes very dry kind of thing, and we are everybody cannot relate to it very directly, and that is why it is necessary to start with saguna, and that there the guru comes into the picture, and then guru's job is to put you into the ultimate nirguna only, and that's what all the gurus they do, no. But to start with, there has to be like we are caught up in the all kinds of names and form around us, and we get attracted to them through our five senses.
And
So
especially for
from
children, I think, how do we explain all of this Nirgun part? Because I don't know how to explain to them.
just
And
give them
to
the example
introduce,
and
yeah,
give
yeah.
it a
Now, what I meant was, unless we put something in front of them, we ourselves may not be able to explain to them. So, how do we introduce this part, the God part, to them when they are young? That was my question also.
No, but normally, I don't know, but in many cases, we do say, oh, there is some supreme power, there is some supreme
Power.
power. We don't probably always say it has to be XYZ God, right? That supreme power, once you start to believe, then or slowly, gradually, you will come to that state of believing in that nirguna. But I think Nanaji today beautifully said how you have to channelize your devotion, bhakti, whatever, from many to one. First, okay, that one, as Madhuriji said, yes, we need a form to be able to relate to. But gradually, even move out of that. It will happen. I think that's not something which can be done with lot of effort, but belief, conviction, viveka, and all, it will happen.
And for me, the one thing that was very takeaway was, why are we attending all of this? The
Yes.
question why. If we keep asking ourselves, I think the answer will unfold itself. Like we ask in the happiness program, why are you here? So that itself will take us further. So we
Correct.
hold on to that why. Why am I doing all this?
And I
Yeah,
think he mentioned, no, Nanaji mentioned that there is always every action is propelled by a desire. No matter, even if we say, no, I don't have any desire, I'm doing it without anything, inherently it cannot. Any action to happen will need to have a.
Mudaha iva na, he does not, even a Muda does not do any action without seeking a result. So there is.
It was
yeah.
beautiful.
It's like we are sitting in a bus which is taking us to Delhi, but we are still thinking of Mumbai.
Yeah. I like your examples, Mrinal.
And we convince ourselves, justify also.
Yeah, that's what we said. No, justify because of our previous samskaras.
Yeah.
And when you look at it subtly, it is actually raga, because you find a lot of, see, for me, I can talk of myself. For me, if I do my ritual, my little thing, it gives me a sense of satisfaction, a deep sense of, so it is in a subtle way, it is actually raga. In case I don't do it, it's more like a binding action for me.
Mm.
If I don't do it, I somehow feel incomplete. So that
And you
becomes like
might
a
also
binding desire.
and
Huh?
also you might feel guilty of not having done it.
Yes,
Yeah, guilty of not
absolutely.
having done. So it is not a desire which is non-binding.
Correct.
It is, so it becomes a binding desire somewhere. So which again is you're in bondage.
Mm.
So we need to move away beyond this
Mm.
and still do. I mean, there's no harm in doing. That's what is the import. You can continue to do, but then with the deeper understanding, why are you doing this and
Mm.
what is the ultimate aim? And it should not be a binding thing on you.
Mhm.
Yeah, very nice. It was so nice of Nana because he, in the beginning, he said, we'll revisit your question and we'll first dwell on that and then
Yeah.
we'll go ahead.
And it was beautiful how he shared his own experience
Yeah.
also, right? He's also
Yeah.
believing in Krishna, Mother Divine, everything. Yeah, but he also says ultimately we have to grow out of it.
Correct.
That's a journey.
And there was a strong telepathy because the questions which I was asking in my mind, he answered all of those, and including in my mind. I wouldn't have asked it openly, but Nanaji, what do you do? How do you pray? Do you pray all the gods? All these questions were there in my mind, and he answered all of those. It's a strong telepathy.
Yeah, that's the power of this space. He does a lot of manasika puja. He does a lot of chant. His day starts, and of course he looks at the news and everything, and then after his bath he does a lot of chant which takes up to almost 2.5 3 hours. Of course he does the Bhagavad Gita from chapter 1 until the end, until Gita Mahatmyam, every day. And that has been his practice from the last 20 plus years now.
Wow.
And I don't remember, my mother is into all the rituals, but except for the main festivals like Vinayak Chaturthi and Krishnashtami, I don't remember my father sitting down physically in front of the mandir and then, you know, um, praying and doing things. He was not into all that. He was more into the jnana aspect and chanting and yeah. Madhuri, I asked the question on your behalf, but I'm not sure whether I got it right. But he said, yes, we are Triguna, but the purpose is for us to move from the Trigunatmika to beyond the three gunas. And there's no
Okay.
harm in praying, but with the understanding that this is not what we have to stop at. We need to go beyond this.
Thank you so much. I was busy with the follow-up actually.
No problem. Actually, for the questions, what I'll do, I'll create a new link because I don't know whether Google Forms have a maximum time. Not sure why we're not able to access that. I'll create a new link, and from now on, maybe we can post our questions. And Vijayji, even your question is pertinent. You could also put it in there, maybe. The Saguna aspect as to
Yeah,
whom we follow. tomorrow morning, before we start chapter 2, is any of you available at from 7:30 India time? Vijayji, are you there tomorrow? Or would you be joining in later?
Yeah, I have a class till 8. That's the problem.
Till 8, no? So
Mhm.
first half an hour, in case Sumaji is not there, I will ask them to just continue. And from whenever you come, if you can just, share screen
Yeah, that I.
of chapter 9, and then from there on, you can take it up, I think, just
Yeah,
for tomorrow.
no problem.
I will see in case we are in transit somewhere in some lounge and I have some Wi-Fi I'm able to share, I will share. Otherwise, I will.
Oh, okay, if it's only for tomorrow, fine. I will jump out of that meeting at 7:30 and start. Not a problem.
I will check with Sumaji and I'll get back to you. I'll
Okay.
message.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So yesterday we did this knowledge alone removes rasa. The rasa is that the emotional value that we give to we talked of, what was we talking of? We're still in that kurmonga niva sarvashaha. Yeah, how can you withdraw from that rasa, that taste? 1 second, the value of money. Because Swamiji said to suppress the value is not the answer, because suppression is nothing but a volcano that blows its top one day. So the basic thing is to get rid of even the rasa, the vasana that is there. So Shankara makes the point here. So a person who engages in a rigorous discipline of sense withdrawal can be either a viveki or an aviveki. He or she can even be deluded, a fool, murkhapi. In all cases, the sense organs that are withdrawn from the sense objects come back to oneself. Vishaya vinivartante. But even though the sense organs come back and sense objects are no longer with the person, the taste for the sense objects remains. Rasavarjam vinivartante. In other words, the subjective emotional value for them is still there. So if the person is deluded, an intellectual value will also be there, impelling the person to perform rigorous disciplines, tapas, merely because someone said that they should be done. Let me read this once again. So in other words, the subjective emotional value for them is still, that is the rasa. But if the person is deluded, an intellectual value will also be there, and which impels the person to perform rigorous disciplines, tapas, merely because someone said that they should be done. Can someone talk about this? I mean, I think the statement is quite talking of intellectual value versus emotional value. Emotional value is just the rasa, the vasana that's still there. But intellectual value is where, and he says if the person is deluded, the difference between a viveki and an aviveki then is that the viveki will only have the subjective value, not the intellectual value. Whereas the aviveki will have both subjective and intellectual value. Maybe if we read further, we will understand this better. Knowledge alone removes rasa. In general terms, rasa is a sense and is commonly used to mean raga or liking. Shankara describes it in the same way. Anything that is pleasing to you may be referred to as raga or rasa. This is the value that remains inside a person's heart and mind, even after having withdrawn the sense organs from it. This rasa too goes away, Krishna said, when the self is known. Rasopi param drishtva nivartate. This means that when a viveki who pursues self-knowledge and is judicious about his or her present pursuits withdraws the senses, there is no suppression. The viveki is only living a life of meaningful discipline. Whereas for a person who practices sense withdrawal without pursuing this knowledge, the withdrawal does amount to suppression. Yeah, this I think understand the intellectual value is that you're only wanting to do a particular practice because someone said something. For instance, yesterday I think we talked about the Ekadashi fast, where someone has said that it is good to fast because it will do this, this, and this. Therefore, you uh, practice your sense withdrawal, hunger. You control your hunger. It's like a tapas that you're doing, but that amounts just to suppression without pursuing self-knowledge. But a viveki is one who pursues self-knowledge and is therefore he's pursuing meaningful discipline. The literal meaning of the word drishtva is having seen, but here it is used purely in the sense of knowing. What is to be known is I am that. Tat param brahma aham eva. It is not any other jnana. That Brahman is myself. There is no difference between the two. Knowing that I am Brahman does not imply a knower-known difference. And in the wake of this knowledge, the rasa goes away. Nivartate, meaning that it does not take the person for a ride. How the emotional value for sense objects can capture one's mind is explained by Krishna in the next verse. Once you can no longer be taken for a ride by the rasa, the knowledge of sense objects does not create any kind of craving or longing in you. It is seedless, nirbija, and therefore does not sprout, meaning that it does not set you up so that you are carried away by your fancies. However, when the clarity of vision is not there, meaning when knowledge is not there, elimination of the rasa is not possible. Therefore, knowledge in the form of clear vision, samyak darshana, has to be well established, steady and firm. May you work on gaining this vision again and again, is what is meant here, because if you give up working for this vision, the erroneous vision you have will not go away. So this is so relevant to what Nana said today about why are you here? Why are you doing this? Why are you attending this? No? So once this knowledge is firm in us of the self, then the rasa itself will drop. It becomes nirbija. It does not sprout and therefore does not give rise to raga or dvesha.
Yes, it's on the only intellectual level. It has not sunk in yet. And that's
Yeah,
why we have not been able to uh, practice it or relate it completely.
correct.
It's only on intellectual level.
Mm.
And that's why we are confused. We are
Mm.
convinced, but not completely
Clear.
sink into it. Yeah.
See, the thing is, we have to have clarity of vision, number one. And second, we should be established in this knowledge. I can see myself, there are kind of glimpses of clarity sometimes, but there is again, it's going back and forth. There is that
Yes.
wavering aspect of knowledge that has to get more and more steady. That has to become steady. The jnana nishta has to be there.
That's more of because I'm not thinking just for myself here. See, I'm closely attached to my family and then welfare of them. And again, then what I was asking Nana Ji, like, how do we pass on these values to them? Like, if I just keep saying the ultimate self and all, they may not be able to see all of that. I want them to have faith in something. So I do these rituals and all. So it's not, I'm just thinking about myself. Yes, for myself, I need only one thing right now, I feel. But being in Grasta, I'm I mean, it's by choice or whatever, or I feel the responsibility. I'm thinking not me as such. I'm thinking at least for my family. I'm thinking they are me and they are part of me. This is what I feel, and that's where the confusion is there. A lot of confusion is there. Just if I had to think of just myself, maybe I would just give up everything.
I think we're again going through a justification trip. If we look subtly inside, it is all about justifying, no? Because
Yeah.
our vasanas, our samskaras are so strong that deep down, that is what we think. If we don't do this, then and
We
therefore
need like more deeper understanding of
correct.
all these things. I mean, I think we are getting it, but it's only superficial level right now. So
Yeah.
it
No,
has
and this
to
monkey mind, no,
sink
this
in.
monkey mind needs something to hold on to in the world. Otherwise, it will keep on jumping from one to. That is why the prescribed, why we have this institution of marriage and everything. Otherwise, things will go out of control. No, just because
See, one thing
from the
that, yeah,
Advaita Bhav, we cannot just not to follow the discipline of the road and go haywire. Everything is same. I can take the money from your pocket. Advait, no, it is not that. Sansarik Satya, we need to follow it and then move on to the Advait. But at the same time, still we need to follow the disciplines of the Sansarik truth. Parmarthik and Sansarik too, they otherwise why Shankaracharya ran away from the elephant who was out of control. He could have stood over there. There is no difference between the elephant and me. But in the name and form, in the form, the elephant was agitated. So the body of Shankaracharya has to be moved away from that elephant. So you need to have these two truths, Sansaric truth and Vyavharik truth and the Parmarthic truth. And both of them are correct. That's what my understanding is. Otherwise, the confusion will be there. If I don't go tomorrow for Shravan Mas Rudra Puja anyway, those 2-3 hours, what will I be doing? At least that positive vibes will help in the society. Even our minds are so different once we go through these Rudra Puja chants, no? It
but
definitely
what
uplifts your vibrations.
what
Did
Nana
you?
said was, you
Yeah.
have the royal path. Why are you choosing the by-lanes? So that is one that was very profound. That the question of why are you here? That is one, and the second is, what is the other one? It's a thought now. Yeah, the royal path is something. The other one is he said there have been so many Mahatmas who have just turned over leaf, a new leaf, and have attained to moksha. So I think we are in that cusp phase right now. We're in the transitory phase where our previous vasanas are pulling us back, and we're putting us in our justifying mode. And there is some part of it says, yes, this is right, this is true, this is what I should be doing. So let's give it some time. Let it bake for a while. We'll get there. I think with patience and shraddha and sticking to knowledge, I think we should get there.
There is one story about, I don't know, Nana said somewhere, I heard this one about Trishanga. Did you hear about that one? There's a guy, yeah, they call Trishanga. It's a person, I think, goes to
he goes to
Vishwamitra, and I want to go to Swarga, and then Vishwamitra says, okay, I'll send you to Swarga. And he sends Trishanga to Swarga, and Indra says, oh, we don't take people like the whole Buddha, the body in here. You have to go back to the earth. So he goes back to the earth, and Vishwamitra stops there. So you cannot, I'm going to send you back again. So in the middle, he is left in the middle somewhere, and Vishwamitra created another Surga for him, I think.
Yeah.
So they call it as in between, you're not in Swarga, you're not in the, you're in the middle. So this is why, you don't go to anybody else, go to the one person that you can rely on. Go to the God and hold on to him. That's what they call it as surrendering, to one God, that you Sarnagati, they call in Tamil, so you fall at the feet and show me the way, please. And you hold on to it. And that's how it is, So that story was kind of tells me something,
So
okay.
we are all like in Trishanku Swarga right now. We are hanging in between.
You don't have to go this way, that way, and you're all confused about it. It's so funny, But I think we all had similar questions, and I think he brought in a clarity.
Yeah.
So you don't have to feel bad about it, or oh, am I getting there?
Says,
not
no,
getting
Bhagwan,
there.
correct.
Yeah.
Bhagwan himself does not defy this. He says it's fine.
Even that sloka that we read, I am everything, right? So when you say the God is everything, so he knows that he's putting you this way and that way. So whatever thoughts even coming to you, it's him. So sometimes you have to feel that way. So this is my understanding. So I really didn't get it, all the points. So that is where the confusion is. But when you literally reading this, like worship me, or when we're reading that, then we are taking it so literal meaning. So you have to put it in bigger context, or bigger, you have to look at the bigger picture to really understand that.
I think slowly, the faith has to grow. The faith in that ultimate. Then, because everything finally boils down to the faith, right? We have faith in particular God or many gods, and so we want to go there. And till we have a faith that's bigger than that and which is stronger than that, we won't be able to drop this. So I think that faith this is the ultimate reality. This is what I want. When that happens, yesterday Gurudev was saying in that video, I don't know if anybody got to see that video. So he says, slowly, all the other wants will drop off. Like he said, I want that I should have no other wants. That also is a want.
Oh yeah. I did listen to it. I didn't get the whole thing, but I saw that it was nice video.
Yeah. No, I haven't watched it. I'll watch that.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, correct. The want to go to a temple, it's not that you should not go. The thing is, see, going for all these spiritual retreats and pilgrimages, they have their own
Benefits are there.
benefits and purpose is there. But for how long do you want to live the rest of your life as a mumukshu, having been exposed to this knowledge? There should be some growth. That inner growth is when, like what Vijayji is mentioning, where you drop all that, the need to do XYZ to get where you want. The actual thing, like Gurudev keeps saying, is to let go. The whole thing, you just have to relax and let go for it to happen.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah,
There is
there
no
is
required. No do all the time. We're doing all the time. We have to drop the doing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also the thing is more focusing on yourself, like thinking like more into what is Atma and where is, that kind of thought also then will connect that Atma with the
Correct.
Brahman. Yeah. So that questioning is not there. But I came across one video about Ramana Maharshi, so I wasn't sure should I post it in the Gita. I thought
Yeah,
I'll
please,
ask you
please
guys if
do
you're
anything.
interested.
No.
I
Anything which
will
is
post it.
related, please do post. Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
help.
because it's very to me it really helped me. So in the sense I only played it once. I'll post it today because I wanted to ask your permission because I don't want to
No. That's
interfere
what.
with it.
No requirement for permission. Any relevant topic, no problem. The only
Yeah,
thing is, there are some people, I think, inadvertently, they
yeah,
just they forward group messages of courses and this
yeah,
and that.
yeah, yeah.
It becomes a
I
little
understand. Because
distracting.
I don't want to clash with anybody else's ideas or the teaching, so I just wanted to
That's okay.
ask.
All the
Yeah.
teachings lead to finally the same destination.
Yeah,
Ramana.
but related Maharishi will say that video, YouTube video. They have any number of meditation. That another question I had. Like maybe I should post that question to Nana about. They have different meditation tapes. Like you stand still and this and that. So do we follow one meditation, or is it okay to do that kind of thought, the chain of thought to follow, that with about Atma? It's very good. I really liked it. I'll post it today.
And in this video of Gurudev,
Mm-hmm.
the person asking also, he also, you can see it in him. He's also a little kind of
Mm-hmm.
towards enlightenment. So he says we get glimpses of, that
Right.
that
Yeah,
everyone is one. Everyone is one.
yeah.
And for
Exactly.
Gurudev, that is there all the time. So he says,
Yeah.
yes, if you are getting glimpses, you are lucky. Right?
Yeah.
Slowly,
I
you will get.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
beautiful when you listen to that conversation. Yeah,
Right.
you really feel,
But he
yes.
says, have you heard very softly, Gurudev says, you need to change your frequency so that all the time, this Spandarika, no, that common vibration, as long as we are in that common vibration, then nothing will affect. Gurudev
Mm,
says you need to change your, just very carefully listen to what Gurudev is saying. He just whispers that you need to change your frequency. He says, no, I get man says, sometimes I get the glimpse, but how to be there all the time in that?
mm.
Then Gurudev says, you need to change your frequency. Very mildly, softly, he has spoken this word.
Yeah, yeah.
So, changing the frequency and cleansing your antakarana, these actions are needed. Because remember, before coming to art of living, how our state of mind and our antakaran was. Because when you are doing the practices, continuously you are changing your vibrations. You are at the level you are vibrating this moment. Definitely changes with the Sudarshan Kriya and advanced courses and this and that. But to experience that changed vibrations at which you are vibrating, you need to go again and again in the play field, no playground. That is why the purification of mind, how and when you will come to know that you are slowly transcending the Shadripus, all your anger, all your this thing, anxieties and everything. So the world is the playground for us. So when we go again and again in the definitely how we were before and how we are today, lot of you cannot compare yourself. It is altogether a different Madhuri, different Brahmara, different Vijayji, isn't it? Different Mara. So back and forth, it's like a two limbs of the same. Two एक ही पहिए, एक ही रथ के दो पहिए हैं. So both should abhyasa and then again doing some kind of seva or some kind of activity in the world. I think both should go hand in hand for a period of time and then automatically it gets dropped.
So people generally plan to work for clear vision only after they have fixed up everything in their lives. But it does not work that way. There is no fixing up of everything without the vision. So the pursuit is twofold: yoga, self mastery, and jnana, self knowledge. Should we stop here? Or can I go up until verse 60 today? If it's okay, I will continue. Otherwise, we will stop here. Because I think yesterday also we stopped here. We just revisited that today. We'll go up until verse 60. Okay. Removing the sense objects also does not work. Taking the word Vishaya to mean sense organs, as we have just done, is the simple way of looking at this verse. Now, we will look at it by taking Vishaya to mean the sense objects. Supposing the sense objects have gone away because you withdraw yourself from the sense world. Previously, you lived in Manhattan and now you are living in the mountains a day and a half away from everyone. You are completely alone. No objects will come to you, no newspapers, radio, or people. You have not even allowed yourself a television set. Having denied yourself all these sense pursuits, you are a nirahara. However, although the sense objects have gone away, the taste for them will still be there. You will find yourself wondering about what everyone else is doing. Then you will begin to think that you should go back to the city for some time. After all, you will say, even Freud does not condone suppression. And then there are those who will send you letters now and then, pointing out that what you are doing is wrong. This is the prime of your life. Everyone is making money in the stock market, and you are losing all kinds of opportunities to do the same. Something you will certainly come to regret for the rest of your life, all of which will remind you that you are a nobody. Their comments will begin to make a lot of sense to you because you have rasa inside. A value for money is there. In fact, the only reason you are able to stay where you are is because you have money. Alcohol is another example of something for which the rasa remains. You may have given it up and all the bottles may have walked away, but the rasa will still be there. It will only go when you have something more intoxicating, something with more of a kick in it, something more profound, more beautiful, and more useful. In other words, more powerful. This is why alcoholics require prayer. Without prayer, they cannot easily get rid of the problem. An alcoholic who turns into a sober person can be a saint because he or she has mastered prayer and knows what it is all about. When an alcoholic finds something more powerful than alcohol, the rasa for alcohol within the person goes away. The importance of acknowledging the emotional value. The need to acknowledge one's emotional value is seen in the alcoholic who thinks that he or she cannot stop drinking at any time, and who may even advance the advantages of alcohol in terms of one's health. Of course, when you begin to take alcohol, you are still the master. You can take it or you need not take it. Sometimes you take it and other times you dismiss it. No problem. But alcohol is not an ordinary substance. It is something that takes charge of you in time so that eventually you have no power over it. It is more powerful than a Rakshasa, a demon. From here on, although you may argue that you can stop at any time, in fact, you cannot. You are no longer talking, the alcohol is talking. First, the person takes the bottle, and then, after some time, the bottle calls the person. If it is 6 o'clock, the time set aside for happy hour, and the person is elsewhere, the bottle calls, "Where are you?" He replies, "I'm here in the office working." Then the bottle says, "This is not the time to be in the office. Come here." Faithfully, the person goes. "Come and sit down," the bottle says. And the person sits down. "Pick me up," it says. Once the bottle is in his or her hand, it says, "Come on, tilt." Then the person tilts every day. There was a time when he or she took the bottle. Now, the bottle takes the person. All decisions about where to go and what to do are made by the bottle, not by the person. Where then is there any question of taking alcohol being your decision? This is no longer the case. You lost this freedom a long time ago. The only way to stop drinking is to accept that you have no power over alcohol. You have to know that. The acknowledgement alone is the beginning. There is no other way. Once you acknowledge that alcohol has a power over you, there is a chance of you regaining this freedom, provided, of course, that you really decide to stop drinking. You need, you need to acknowledge that you are not going to drink anymore. And once you stop taking alcohol, the bottles you have in your cupboard will go away. You will not want to keep them and will therefore distribute them to those who want them. But the smell of alcohol, the craving for it, will still be there in your head, which is where support groups come in. Otherwise, you may start drinking again and lose yourself totally, after which there is no chance. Only when people find themselves secure, when they know that they are everything, do the rasas lose their hold. Then the world can no longer take such people for a ride. To understand what Krishna was saying here, we need not alter the meaning of the word Vishaya to mean sense organs. It can be looked at from the perspective of sense objects also. It is so profound and so beautiful, really.
So what it's saying is you don't, uh, the sense organs or sense object is not going to influence you.
The crux is that we have to realize that we are everything. We are secure,
Mm.
that you are the
You're
solution.
complete.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are complete.
Mm-hmm.
You're Advaita. When in that space of Advaita where you see yourself and everything and you feel secure within, then you will not go outwardly into the, you'll not get lost in the world of sense objects, and your sense organs will be in your hold.
Mm.
You will get rid of even that rasa, because otherwise it is only doing it intellectually. You are suppressing it.
That
That
is true. Yeah.
rasa is still there. So
Mhm.
unless even that goes, unless you know that you are whole even without that cup of coffee.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm taking the coffee
No,
example.
that is my problem. I do want.
So,
She's
un-
trying to touch the weak point.
no,
No,
I'm just,
no,
because she
that's
shared
it.
her
I
coffee.
didn't think it was a weak point, but it's still, you would.
Yeah.
I couldn't get rid of the taste, especially when it interferes with your meditation and your sleep and all that. That is my problem. So I know that it is. If I drink later in the day, it affects my sleep. So that is
So,
why I want to get rid of that one.
right. The step one is acknowledging it. That is what
Yeah.
is important. Once you acknowledge it,
Yeah.
and then you feel, you come to with the knowledge that you are complete, you are secure.
Mhm.
With or without the cup of coffee, you are secure. Then
Mhm.
the hold that coffee cup has on you will slowly start coming down,
Mhm.
and then the rasa will drop.
Yeah,
So
there's one more thing,
it is
probably.
not anything to do with the mind, intellect, all that, right? It's just to the it just to I probably missed in the beginning part maybe, so because I wasn't there yesterday.
Um,
Go ahead, Vijay.
No, what I was saying is one is knowing that you're bound to that coffee, right? There's a bondage. That is one realization. Second is you're wanting to get free. You
Mhm.
really want to get free, then slowly it can happen.
Mhm.
Yes, initially, I don't know, though Swamiji says suppression and eventually getting into a state where it doesn't hold you, but maybe initially you have to start with that suppression, right?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
can't be in a state where then you have to be a jnani where it doesn't matter. But otherwise, initially with suppression, when you manage your mind for some time, then the mind will lose its hold on you. Like
Mm.
I think yesterday, Brahmaraji was mentioning, I was a tea addict. I used to
Mm.
drink at least 6 to 8 cups of tea.
Mhm.
But about 10, 12 years back, I gave up tea, no form of tea. I don't have tea, coffee of any kind.
Wow.
Initially, yes, it was a bit of a challenge, but I took it as challenging the mind. In
Mm.
one of the DSN, one teacher said,
Mm.
the power you get when you challenge the mind and win over it is unbelievable. So that's
Mm.
when I challenged. This was one thing which I couldn't stop, and I into that IT and also sitting on the table continuously, just sipping tea. Somebody
Mm.
used to get teas for us in the office, so that
Mhm.
was a standard practice. But that one fine day after that DSN, I decided, and after that, it's almost 12 years now. I have not had tea. Though there are a
Mm.
lot of people who compel when you go to a guest place, you can't refuse this, that. I said, I don't care.
Mm.
No matter who offers or whatever it is, I don't have. So that came initially as it was suppressing. There was a tendency of holding, but now no. Anybody around me can drink any number of tea. I don't have a problem.
Mhm.
But it started with that so-called suppression only. Obviously, I was not in a state where I could say that, it doesn't bother me. It was. But then
Mm.
eventually it lost its hold. And when you win over the mind, you know that you can win over many other things.
Mm.
Everything is possible.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we have to keep that more of positive attitude. I can do
Yes,
it.
yes, yes. You can win over the mind. And when you win over
Yeah.
the mind, you really feel great, because it's the mind which is stopping us from reaching that ultimate.
Right.
Mind meaning intellect, buddhi, chitta, ahankar, everything is included. All are there in small proportions, but that proportion will keep reducing. And eventually, you will get into a state where if it completely drops, then you have the glimpse of the ultimate and you can be in that state for long.
Yeah.
Winning over the mind is the key.
Yeah. Mhm. Good. Thank you
And
so much.
one other thing is that when you find in this example of alcohol, he
Mm-hmm.
says, unless you find something more intoxicating. So we will have
Yeah.
to unhook ourselves from the material world and
Yeah.
hook ourselves to spirituality, like we are doing right now.
Right.
And when you can find that intoxication, that rasa for spirituality,
Mm-hmm.
knowledge, then I think all the other things that have a hold on us will slowly start coming down.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any program in AOL for such people? Because I know someone who is really wanting kind of
We have
help.
a de-addiction program, no, Mrinal?
De-addiction programs are there,
Yeah,
especially for tobacco and alcohol. There is a de-addiction
there.
program.
Oh, is
Pran.
it? Okay.
It's called Pran. I forgot the full
And
form.
does it happen only in ashram or?
No, it happens in many
I
places.
think there are several de-addiction teachers. There are several.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be
It's
wherever
not
this person
open.
is, you can check. You can
Okay.
ask him.
It's a
Sure.
part of the wellness program. Means
Right.
part of the wellness desk, not wellness program. Wellness desk. I can
Mhm.
send you the number if you want. The head
Yes,
of
please.
wellness in the ashram.
Oh,
Vikram.
that would be great. That will be great.
I'll send you.
Yeah. We'll conclude here today. So tomorrow onwards, we will start with whoever's reading it tomorrow will be from verse 60. Chapter 2, verse 60. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om shanti shanti shanti. Jai Gurudev. Hari Om.
Thank you,
Jai
Dr.
Gurudev,
Mama.
dhanyavad.
So
Yeah.
can you post the two slokas? I know the Sagana Vavatu, but then the Narayana, the
Yeah.
prayer song.
Shall I
So
send an audio file in the audio record in the thing?
yeah, that'd be good.
The voice note, yeah. You want the Sanskrit version also? You wanted that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, that'd be good. But then I like more of, I mean, I cannot read Sanskrit, so I like to have English.
Now,
thing.
let me put it
And
down.
maybe, I got to know how to share the thing so I can help you. Maybe I
that
can
would be
ask Vijayji,
wonderful.
and I don't know. That's why I had to find out. Last
No,
week
it's
only,
very
I kind of
simple.
got
Do you
all
have?
in the email. I put all the chapters that you sent me, so it's in the email now. So I could. It's not in WhatsApp. So from there, I have to open it and see how I can share the screen.
Yeah, it is very simple.
Simple.
One second. I think I will